Hello, this is Jason McManaman, and this is my demo for the final project of CS496. So to get started, I'll run the emulator. This project is in Xcode and Swift. And this will be leveraging the API in the mobile application that I wrote in previous assignments, except that I've implemented the ability to make users and unique accounts. So first I'll show you that if you view recipes, we can't see anything. No users are logged in. And so the first thing I'll do is create an account. And I already have a couple, so I'll use test3@gmail.com and test3 as the password. And then click Create New Account. And we can see over here in the terminal that the email and password have been passed correctly. I'll also make a second while we're at it, since I'll log into it later. Make test4 the password and create a new account. And so what's happening here is when I create a new account, this function is firing, and it's taking the text field from the email and password, setting it to the parameters, and posting it to the user's add URL of my API, which if we look in here, it's the add user function. And it's basically just taking that information, creating a new key, and adding it to the data store as a user entity. So back to the simulator. Let's start with test4 since we already have it here. We can log in as this user by clicking the basic sign in. There we go. And we see in our terminal over here that we have a successful email and password sent, and we are now logged in user as test4@gmail.com. So what that's doing is when you hit basic sign in, this function fires, user sign in. It takes the text fields again, encodes them in parameters, and it sets the URL to the user's find, and it uses a post verb for sending that information. And on the API side, find user is the function that fires, and what we do here is basically create a new query and filter on the email and passwords having to match what was passed, and then we put the results in an array and send it back. So now that we're logged in as a user, we can view recipes, and we don't have any. So let's go ahead and add one. The name of the recipe can be peanut butter. It's 1 tablespoon. Yeah. 50 calories, and it's just peanut butter. Also, for the mobile portion, we can select a photo. This is obviously not peanut butter, but it'll work for showing that we can use the photo selector as a mobile requirement, and then we can submit. And it takes us back to the home screen. So now when we go to recipes, we see peanut butter. We see that we have sent this request as user equal to test4@gmail.com. So it only finds the recipes that that user has submitted, which is exactly what we want. So if we go back home, let's sign in as the other test. Test3 is the password. Basic sign in. We see that we have successfully passed the data and logged in user as test3. So let's go to view recipes again. And just like we would expect, we don't see anything because this user hasn't submitted anything. So we can go ahead and name a new recipe. Let's make some toast. 2 slices, 150, and ingredients are bread and butter. Again, we don't need to do it again, but you can select a picture and then click Submit Recipe. And if we view our recipes, we see that we have toast. Again, this is Similar for ingredients, if we view ingredients as test3, we don't see any, but we can certainly make one, submit an ingredient, and then when we view it, lettuce is the only one there. We can sign back in as test4, sign in. We see that we've successfully logged in. We haven't added any ingredients here, but we can. We can add some spinach. And then when we view ingredients, we only see spinach. Similarly, an old test case that I had used, can sign in and view our recipe for granola. So that's everything. The basic way of logging in as individual users and only being able to see what that user has added works. The downside being that I was unable to implement the delete and edit functions, as I spent the majority of my time trying to get the Google SDK sign-in for signing in with your Google account to work in iOS, but eventually had to drop back and just do this simpler kind of, insecure kind of just in the clear passing the username and passwords and making sure they are in the database. So that's everything. I hope you enjoyed, and if you have any questions, please let me know.